Na be kani ka kelas jangi mentak sengi ngin ya shim mentalang wat lada pi shupet ya ka video ngakwa ya pi ba pin shim ka kot ha ka ti jong pi pindon u pensil pindon ru ka kopi lada pindon kamban tho ai banang taro sngobaha ban pendep ya ki kamba pi de ban pendep kumbang ala pha ha ka message ha ka group jungi ba ngin sadon ka TMA examination ka bamut ka assignment jong phi ka ba phin hap tho ha yeng nang tangin upload online nang ta kinsa evaluate ya kitu ki jing tho jong phi wanam khuslai kitu ngan sa pensyaya phi da ka bang ya don lang ha po class te menta ka sngi ha ka jaka bangin ya wan lang ha po class ngin snap leng ba jong ka ne ka video snap ba te let through lut barok khoj eke ba phidei ban le balada phim phidon kano ke jaka ba phim sungthu snobha sawan ra sha class te ngila dep na do chapter 1 hadu chapter 12 menta ka snipat ngin ya pet ya ka ne ka lesson ka boong the last stone mason kata ka last stone mason kumbang itip na kabukwan kani kala day ka chapter ka bakhat lai bat don saar kli ki chapter ban bot ya kani tenga tharai philasung thu khambon bang al ong na du basdang ba habang ni pule ka kon ni pule ka no ka story ni pechua ya ka title lang ba jong kani ka title ngila asung thu kumno la ni malu mala kani ka lesson kani ka chapter ka kran chapang ka e te ha kani ka chapter kumba kala ong kani ka title la ni kani ka karteng jong kani ka chapter the last stone mason uta u stone mason udai unong shnia mau udai ubriu ubatrei la ne uba pendon kam ya kasap ko pong jong u kumno ban pen wandur daki mau tuking ban ngintip kam benya ngin leit leng ba kani ka chapter kat kum ba ka kot kala ka daw yangi to pulilang bat nga ha ka kot jong pi to ngin ya pulilang sngap bahaya ka pronunciation pronounce ba bat penwan bahaya ki sentence pej yaki koma pej ru yaki full stop pej ru yo s bun sin pishat i no yaki sm pim dai ban i no yaki no ki letter lane yaki no ki sentence to ngin ya pulilang menta bat in persyang ban sungthu ka ka ne ka chapter ka kren syapang ka bat ka ka jing sneng ba ka ayangi are traditional arts and crafts which are an important part of our culture and heritage are dying out. Kabamut ayu kata. Ki ong ba traditional arts kita ki sap ki pong jongi bangin shna bangip ka art ka dei kata ka jing pen mi ka ba mi nangi mdai ba shu pen bot tenangi ki wei re ka ba mi nangi ki arts and craft te kat banang mi ki sngi ki ong ba kanang ja rangai no ba lei tharai ki ja rangai no in sa pe chu shu ha ka ne ka kot re kat kum ka jing smu thu jongi kini ki benta jong ka jing im jongi lani ka sap ka pong jongi ha ka bang ngishna ya ki ishna jing shna lang ba ki mau lang ba ki se lang ba ki tiar ki tar ki bangi don na yeng hasem hak per hapra balai kim ya chakman kawai ka daw ka long ba ki tat talat umdon nong thi lani umdon yau bandi ki te ki briu ki saliano ki sungusuk ban chuthit na yau da ka bashna da ki machine tingin pe chu shu ken ka egen ni ka kot ka ong pule lang bat nga why are these traditional crafts dying out? Maybe it is because the handicrafts trade does not fetch much money. Artisans struggle hard to make both ends meet. They don't have adequate material to make products. They need markets to sell their products, but there isn't much demand for their products. Young artisans want to earn more money and are favor of mass production of items that can be produced quickly rather than by hand. This makes them leave their family handicraft industry. Should they do this? Should we let our traditional arts and crafts die out? Can we do anything to stop it? This lesson will make you think about all these questions, about the problems faced by young artisans and what we need to do to solve these problems. Te kung bangal ong mene, balay kini ki jingshna jongi, ki bangi la yo pateng, na do ki me eight pa eight, na do imay ipa jongi, ni i no suki hadu bangin tipshu. For example, kanuksa bangan IAP, imay jonga, imi eight jonga, kinang bantanya ki kriya, bantanya ki ko, bantanya ki knup, bantanya shilia. Man la usnem menshua por baslap, ki shongkhop hayeng kim pen sab eye kapor, ki tan shilia, ki tan kriya, ki tan ko, ki tan knup, bat kum ta ter. Pausie suki, namar bakim la bandi ki shutan tang ilade, kami pisa, ne, kami pisa, te suki ma kisalia nak ban hikaya ngi le ngi ngimshim interest ban board ya ke baki la nang te ngi ngusuk ban shuthiet no suki la mi da kini ki plastik ki krea plastik ki shilia plastik kum ta ter baru na mar ba kashna ka machine ki kham tat dor bat kum jur ki suk ki long ban side kum ta ter posi ki donro kita ki side effect na mar balai ki de ki plastik sudah kumbang yo I menta ka perthai ka jelai de ki plastik bat kumbang ila pule ha ki chapta ki basha khmat nei ki plastik kim jup ut no ki shimda ki spa snem ban ut te da kita spa snem de ka jing penmi jongi pa da ki tons man la ka sni te kin poishalo hosi ki ni ki jing shna tan rai jongi pan ki dei ki bawan na ki bawan na klau ki bawan na kamariang bat ki kloi ban sniu kum juru ki kloi ban recycle te kata ken ka ba mangi ngi de man pen imbiang kum juru mdon ki bala ban bujli omdan kano ro ka bala ban bujli ya ka ba ubriu hi ushnal den ka ktila jong na kata kadau ka khamrem dor de ngin pat du lut to ngin pen khe imbiang menta kum hangni ha po ri bhoi ki don shibun ki riu kan thai kiba dang thir ya ki jan kiba dang than hi bat kiba dang su hi ya ki jan kataro kadai ko way na ki arts and culture jongi te ngiru ngin ya pet biang kain ha ka jing im jongi kumno bangin shim interest ban pen im ya ki bat ru mentam dai shu bakim long pisa kum men shua menta kirem ha menta phin tiet jan ran dia kindon katno phin thiết na yo ki jans ai phi la yo san spa tangka phin thiết ka wei ka jan rin dia le si kan long hadu lai hajar saw hajar tangka te mental lada mangi ngishim interest hakini ki arts and crafts jongi ki khamram dor banya gitu ki ba phishu yo na yo ka bashna ka machine te kane ka objective lada pipule lada ngi la let through ya kane ka kod ya kane ka chapter ngin satip shibun ki eki ngan bet through ka to sum bahasa pulehi ngin let bet shaka chaka lesson ka ba dei na ka chapang ka ka ba uni ulas mesin ukwa ban kren. Okay, let's read together. Father, times have changed and so ngatharai ngala bakla hang ni dongan pechua. Okay. Ngala bakla mene ngala let jakaway pat ka page to page nang ni. Let us read the text. Te hang ni piyo I ka tu ka duru nei bro akali tu ka dur hang tu. Te menta ngin nong pet tanya tu ka dur to ngin ya puli hang ni kay namar balay kila batay be hang ni nei to ngin ya puli lang. A sculptor loves to carve beautiful statues. He loves his art and is totally committed to it regardless of the financial difficulties he faces in doing his work. Te uni u sculptor ngal ong ipi mene uni unong shni amau u bashna ya kadur kadar let's say uni u mau dang ipek mangi ki bom nang udai u mau u bom tandur dandar henry u sculptor lani uta u mesen pa ula yo I lupa ka kadur ka badan tu po u shnia u weng no ikitu ki bom dan kam pat u pen wandur wandar hang ta te uni u sculptor ha ka ni ka story wat lada undon pisa lani undon nong thiet henry pat u yai bak triang bat u yaj bet shakmat ya kata kam bat benam kam ya kasap jong o. Let us enter into the small world of an old artist and see what his son has to say to his father. Te mentang in pet shushu ha kani ka kam bo ule bat ngin pet ba kumno uni ukun u ong ya ukpa nei. In Pulimenta, the young man threw the hammer and the chisel to the ground and cried, I'm leaving you, father. I'm leaving you and your work. Look what it has brought us. Te unia ukun u ong ya ukpa jong u badai uta u mason ne sculptor ong menta kasngi ngan pet no na yeng ngan I no ye pi ngam tre shu ban tre bat pi te sapet ken kan long kum no bat ka e ka bawan ra na ka bentaj na ka bentajongi lene hakajing injongi. He spread out his arms, looked at the small, congested, dark room, the slabs of stones and marble stacked up in one corner. They got covered with heaps of used cloths. The paint of whitewash walls has come off. Look what it has brought us. Nothing, nothing. The young man repeated in anger. This kind of work just doesn't pay. Te uni ukun jong ni umesin ubadang kena ula apet hayeng jong ula sya yo I ka kam jong pa jong ubatrei na do men step haban demit bat ula yo I una do kapor pa udang rit bat kumju uni pa ula persyang men hikai uni ukun pausi uni ukun u ngam yo I jing men toy kam don jing men toy pitrei na do men step haban demit kam mon ra kam don jing men toy te ngam tre shu ban le kani ka kam sa le hi ma pi marwei na mar pa kam siu te ngim yo jing men toy te menta ngan I no bat ngan sa le no. The old man stared at his son. His voice, though tremble, had not lost its usual gentleman. It is not the money alone that matters, son. It is the service, a service to God. Ukpapan, ukpaw balarang ba, ubala siyempang ba, o onggum no. Ula smusi ya kata kajing sngo kia jong ukun jong ula sngo kia men sim ba ni ukparu, but wat lada ka ni ka sur jong kala pat na marbelai ka da ka jing sung si haba pi sung si ka pat ndai ka sur ngimla ban kren be te ka sur jong kala pat phau si kum ukpa uyang triang hakik jat jong badu ong yo khun jong khun phim pat la ban sung tho snap yanga ka ni ka de ka kam jongi ka ni ka de ka kam na menta ki jat ben riu bat kum juru ka kam na ka benta ublay. It is as a service to God. So let's see again. Further, times have changed, and so has the stone mason's work. You cannot leave carving sculptors for temples only. Come on, Father. You have to mass produce like all the other people in Agra. Te ong ni ukun ong ba kapor kala nang ya chakmat bat kala don shibun gajing kala pim la ban shushnya shishnya yo to umau tang ban shna blay na mentaki temples pi hap ban change kat kum kapor but pet bha kum no ki brio hapo agra ki le. The lines around the old man's mouth tightened. He said, No, my son, this is the work I have learned from my father and he had learned from his father. We have kept up this tradition for hundreds of years and I hoped you would continue our work. Teu ong ba petseni kun. Kam day te ka kam ka banga shushim nang ni nang tay ni ka banga shunang menta-menta. Ipa nga I batay nga lani ihikaya nga nang na ipa pat inang na ipa jong but itay pa iro inang na ipa jong iti kadai ka pateng ka lahir pateng bana do anday tay but nga kwa kani ka kam bakan hiar pateng ha piru ba piru pinang bat pinang pateng kani ka kam tu kun padu ong no father. There is so much more money in candle stands, paperweights, ashtrays, and plates for tourists. The young man walked out of the room angrily. Uni ukun pat las ngudom nay na marbalay kamon ra ang pisa umyo iya ka pisa umyo ru ka jing mentoy ong ngam tre ban le ka kam bat da ka jing dom umi no nakataka kamra. The old man sat before the half-finished marble statue of Radha and Krishna. Te uni ukpapat usyong hang no usyong hakata ka statue let's say kede ke belashna ma u hinay ke belashna ma u usyong hajan jong kini ki statue ki blade how ki blade jong ki Hindu ki baki mani u ay u Radha but u Karadha but u Krishna. He dropped his hands into his lap and closed his eyes. He was praying. He did not seem to listen to the hesitant goodbye the son called out from the door. He sat still. Te uni ukpa ula shushong kuslai hang ta ula bo ya ka dur jong u ha ka kti jong u kumni bat nang ta bat ula shushong kuslai hang ta kwa shu ban sngap yu ukun jong u kat ba ukun jong u bat u ya yu ang goodbye ngala let majesty majesty masterji Salim the servant boy entered the workshop. His voice was filled with concern. He held a cup of tea in his hand. The old man lifted his head. He had a pale face and looked old and tired. He said, Salim, soon I'll be the last stone mason here. As everyone has gone to Agra, look, Kopal, my son, has gone too. Now I'll have to finish this sculpture all by myself. The old man looked at the orphaned boy Salim and said, I have very little strength. I can't work with the chisel the way I used to. Carving takes too long a time. I have to finish the work and I will. Te uwan uni ukna u7 lani uta shakri jong u wang master ji pet hang ni balai pi song si gani te uni ukpa jong uni ukna ula batai uni ushakri wang baro kila elech agra bar ukun jangar kila lech te ka e ke bang song si galong ba ngam la shu ban shnia ya kini ki mau da ka bor la jong bat dan nong peteng ya kini ka kam ka bala hiar peteng na du ki me ye ki temen men shua te Uangan dan por pat dia ban ya keren tan bat pi tongan persangkat bala nganang petengnya kakam jonga. The boy offered tea to the man and said, please drink this. It will do good. Yes, I know you will finish this work. Te une uluk syakri une usalim ru uang shim no di no da kan ya kesya kan mo pintengan kendiat kan ya rap ya pi bat ngatip ru ngangait kem ba pin la hi ban le ya kakam jong pi. The old man sighed and picked up the chisel and the hammer. He loved his work and didn't want to change it for any other work in the world. For days together, the man worked continuously without taking any rest. His own desire was to finish the sculpture, which would be his last. He worked till his hands began to tremble and his shoulders started to ache. His arms grew heavy and his eyes grew tired, and then he couldn't see anymore. Te uni utemen, ne? Uni utemen pada in no ya kata kakam jong u. Wat lada uthaj ru, hadu ba katerpen jong u kala no sapa. Hadu ba yo isu ka kamat u yai tre ya kata ka. Kam hadu ba kalak hiya shisha u hadu ba la syuk ban peteng lani la syuk ban yo i. At that moment, Salim returned. He saw the old man and asked him to eat some food. The old man whispered, I am not going to finish it. I will not complete it. If Kopal was here, it would have been different. Although he was not a good sculptor, he had difficulty in carving the face and hands properly. There was something missing in his finger, and that something can be taught. Te hakata kapor ba yo issue na mabala miet ne ula thai la trai bro sis ngiu no temen te la miet uwan biang u salim uwan terwa jaya u bat nang ta pa de Usyamba uni u master jong u la thai ba ula complain ong lada u kopal udan hang ni te kan dam long hadu kat ni nganam da thai una ya rap yanga wat lada la ban shna bha ya ka ya ka dur khmat ba ya ka kti namar bale ka don ka jing duna ha ka kti jong u wat ladang hikai kat no ru kam don kata ka jing biang ha ka kti jong u te menta Ulas ngusi shu ubu bahaya kataka jingkermen ha u kopal ba un peteng ya ke kam pausi mentana mar ba tre ban peteng ya ke kam dei ya ke jingbom don jong u kopal dei ke jingbom pediang jong ni ukpa ba u kopal kwa ban Tengin pek. Salim whispered, because it comes from somewhere deep inside you. You are right, Salim. And then the old man added, and if you don't have it inside you, and you'd better go to Agra and mass produce a strays for the tourists. Teonio Salim, ula ongba, namar pakawanan du kaman siem jong pina takadaw pim iya kanikam. Ladam day kum tate, piru pinalit siya Agra, banshna khambun giway patne, pinang ba, pilong bat tebit ba, pinalit siya Agra, pin kam yo shibun kapisa, kumo ukun jong piru ulet. The boy asked Master G to eat, and after feeling a little better, the old man picked up his food. Te uni ukna usalim, ule ukna oba, tip brio bandai, uyarap, but usmutu, upen shingan mensim, yau yau ni Master G jong lani Master jong to okto shim no bam no kendian, kenang ba, pin kam snow, la kin matre, pin kam sudon kemensim, pin klanya kamet namar belay, lada pitlot hagamet, te kum talele pinom la ban pendat ya kakam te da kacing pen bor jong usalim uni utemen ula shim ya kata bam bat ula bam nang taru la shim yang he then his hammer and chisel again and worked till late in the night. In those days he prayed a lot. Now he prayed for help and strength, and he prayed for his son. In the early hours of the morning, the chisel fell from the old man's hand, the hammer dropped to the ground, and he fainted. Te hadien mo la bam do salim la ajing bam ya la shimyang ya uternem bat ya shnia jang la sedang mentray biang bat nang ta duai shibun de brio uba ya kajing duai bat ha do men step utray shi tray hadu ba kita ki jong ki ternem jong but ki shnia jong ki hap hi shamadan. When the old man opened his eyes, he found himself on the cot of his bedroom covered with a light cotton blanket. From the workshop, the chipping around of the chisel reached his ears. He listened. Had he heard correctly? He could hear it again, strong blow of the hammer on the top of the chisel. Koppel, he was back. Koppel had returned. He should help him. They would finish the statue together. Weakly, he walked to the door. Koppel, he was about to say, but his words froze on his lips. No, he wanted to cry out, stop the work, but he couldn't move and stood staring at the young stone cover working at the face of the statue. It wasn't his son Koppel, but Salim, his servant. The old man watched, stunned, unable to speak. Anger gave way to a feeling of admiration. Hi, Ram, the old man whispered. Finally, when the weakness had left him, he walked over to the boy, put his hand on his shoulder. Salim. The boy started. He turned, looking up at his master. Thế ka long ka basta nat hande te kumangilatip ang ba uni utemen utre hadu ba unda kelon nda lo kelon mano bara no yu usha ka jing thia uni hi usalim ura yu ush jing thia open thia no banang ta unda la kendid uyu asngau ba don batit ternem ubashna ya kita ki statue te uni utemen ula nang mut la so kemen ba nang bot udai kun jung kopal ula wan pai tu la kwa ban khot ba ya ban ong kopal melawan mo posi ka sur jung ka telot pelat namar ka jing that jing jram palat jung ka jing kuslai jung te ula ya suki ula kien nak batia ula ya suki ban lepet ya kopal posi nda wala poi hang ta umdei satia kopal posi udai salim uta usyakri jong hakaba poi perkat juk poi perkat ban hikai juk poi perkat ro ba uni salim undon interest te pausi ude uni salim ubala nang ba syupet yo master jong teng syupet tu handai pade udon ta kaman sim man pentengan yo master jong bat la le e kan ka kam ka ba ngola ban batai bat ka ba pensong kaman shibun da hakaba bon sin uni master piratip hi master and servant de ka relationship ka longkum no kam de ka baya jan kam de ka baya e kam tam hakum kan ni ka por jongi menshwa ki shakri ki de kum ki kam kor ki ksau ban ya ki shakri te phosi hakan ni ka por ka ba yo i yaw ne shakri jong ai ka ba ule ba ka kam ka ba ma ule ba unang teng unang penbha shu ti nang shu bandom ula shu la shu kemen ka ben sim la phu samarki but nang ta ba deu ong kum no I only want to help, whispered the boy. I'll learn if you teach me. Master Ji, I have been practicing secretly for almost 2 years in a quarry. I know I should not have done this, but isn't this different, Master Ji? This is a sculptor, isn't it? Te uni usalim rundalo iya master jung le kum no la tiang ne na marba kam dei te ka kam jung dei u family member la ne u brio bana yeng jung ta ka yeng ka sem te u la tiang ba yo sha mai le siru yo sha be kam ne yo sha be no nang ni tu ong ba ngadei manga ngasukwa ban ya rap ya pi pimtip ba ars nem menta ngala haburi buri ngala praktis be ya kan ya ka kam haki parmau but pechani hatu pim kwa se mo ban yo I ya kan ya ka kam ka ba manga ngala le after all kadehi ka sculpture la ni kadehi ka ta ka handi mit jonga te ngatharai pin nom so peri e. The old man pulled the boy's head against his shoulder and whispered, there is nothing I can teach you, my son. Go ahead. You have it in your heart. I know you will be one of the best stonemasons in India will ever have. Wow. Te uong uni utemban ong pechane ngan nang hikai shu yipi namar ba e ka ba phile ka dei ka ba so beautiful ka long ka ba itnat hadu kata dengan hikai ayu shu yipi balai pitip namar ba kawan nandu ka mensiam jang pi and wow pidei uta unong shnia mau ba pau nam tam bat uba I mensim ya ka India. Hi barok kawai ya kari India hi barok kawai bar uni utemen ula sok men shisha baka kam jong kam tukut no posi udon sa uwai pat uban yalam kam uba nang shbha bat uba kam la shushu ban ya ong te ukopal lele pikan mau mene ukopal nang sngutenat bat kwa ban le ya kan ya kam te lada ngi pleasing mood jing perkat hi lada mangi ngi long open minded umdai banon restriction than tang mano bala ban le ya kan ni ka kam tungin ai lat ya no ru ki badon ka jing kwa nei kumba uni utumen ha ka jing bomban si ha ka jing shisha ula ai lat yo ni shakri jung but uni shakri jung udon shisha ya kata ka sap ka pong ha ka ba ma un le ya kan ni ka kam te ka story kaneka story kalakut daga jingkemen ya uni ukna ro uni u kna usalim ubadai tang u servant lani ubadai tang u shakri mentau la long ayu la long u stone mason ha kapor men hendai kini ki stone mason kidei ki brio ki ba ki brio ki pet yaki kum kita ki riu krau ki banang namar balai pitim Kishna khambun bun sim Kishna ki statue jono Kishna ki statue jong ki blay bat kum juru jong ki skim te ki de ki brio ki balong gifted ba te ando mentaro nei menta meniru kum bangi ong menne ka baneng kong ba ha oj ki duna kata ka jingya yo khamtam ha ka por menshwa phosi ha ka por menta tungin pen mi la ki sap ki pong jongi ki sap ki pong ki bangi don ba tungin pen ki imyang khnang bangi nom ja do no khnang bangi nom sha ra e no ha ki leer ki bakum ne kum tai tang ka jing pen itanat na dur ndai kam don kam dei ka bami na du mensim haba pishna e itiar beridru lada pi hi pishna pin itanat pin sumar bat pin ngopi ngeladi te ka nega story la thok da mano la thok da sikrun sriva tawa srivas tawa singrun srivas nava te ngatharai pila sungthu ya ka nega story te menta pade pin persanggen ban le ya gitu ki lessons let us do see lesson 13.1 ngakwa ya pi ba pin le hi ya kani hayin ba nda phila de le ya kani le ha copy shondur sanga ba chapha te ya ka e ba pin nang ngin select ba biang katu pade ka part 2 hang tu ka don biang ka explanation la da pi kwa bang khamsu thu khamha so ba le biang e katu puli hi daladi te mentang in pet kani kan diat kani ha box ko do you know Kini ngala ong yepi mensuaru kini ki badon ha box kide ki baki kwa tip chapang ka jing shisha ki baki kwa man pashat chapi ba pin tip te ki ong pitip ne em ba udaskar nature bazaar which is held every year at Indira Gandhi National Center of Arts began in Delhi 17 years ago. Te ka ne ka dust car nature bazaar kashe long hangno kashe long hapo Gandhi National Center for Arts hai kasdang hapo Delhi khatnyos namanshwa along with environmentalist Daskar worked on the idea that craftsmen and artisans should go back to nature as a source of inspiration and use national material and fibers. The 11-day Daska Nature Bazaar links nature and craft, tradition and change, age-old skills and innovative solutions. Teganega yo, kadek nang na kabenta kae. Nakabenta gitu kinong shna ke badon sap. Bahkan mi na yeng jongki, bahkan mi na kper jongki, bahkan mi na mensieng jongki, bat kilaban shna pisa lang baki ni. Te menta kidon gitu ki lesson pi ban le ya gitu. Le ya kan niru, let us learn new words. Pidei ban le ya kini na marhapo exam ru pinhap bandon kum kini ki benta hakaba mapi pihap ban pendap dakini hi kikitin pareng ki badon hang ni. Tepe hang tu Payang to read the following sentences. The one who carves statue is a sculptor. Kila penle lupa ya piga to go away. But the profession or work of a sculptor is to carve statue. Te kumju kini hang ni harum ru pin persyang ban le hi daladi le haki kopi jung pin mandang penle lut mga pin sengap pin ong ho oj ngalak smutu handai pin saklet no. Menta pin yat kini le hapo kopi jung pi ngakwa ban yo i lada piladep shondur yaki bat sawan ra kan ka kopi las ngit hot dim an pet yaki. Okay? Man sa check. Te kaniru hang ni let us talk. Okay, let us talk. Kemutung ini keren kan. Te kaniru pin persyang hi man pulih lade persyang hang ni pin play. You need to play two roles. Okay, you need to play a role here. Kamut hang ni don kanut kinong keren hang ni kidon armut. Te kamut mapihi pin shim ya ka role jong ka pretty bat ka role jong ka shruti ru. Pulih kan ni wan ong bangan shui no kumtu namar bakan ni kan yarap ban bapin smutu ika English bat kumnoro bapin pendengkam da kaktin English namar kani ketika subject English but everything you need to write your exam in English so you need to understand and you need to read it. Okay? Hang ni pade ketika benta jangka grammar. Hang ni ru kalau don lupa kan nuksa hang tu ngakwa ya pi bapin le hi shuwa daladi. Ngakwa ya pi bapin le hi shuwa daladi kini ki lessons barokot hang ni. Te ngan sakarek pade ya ke ke bapim nang bat ya ke bapi bakla ngan penbait manga. Tangba pi de ban le hi daladi. Okay? Barok kini banda pila adab lut barok khat ya kitu ki lesson kumba syait long ha ki we ki benta pin salap ru ya kini ki answer syapok din te mdai ban board ya kini ki answer kamentoi ba pin board ya kini ke ba pidon kam ka dai ba pinang kan ba pinang ban tho ba pinang ban sungtu ba pinang ban le hi te nang ta pade sapule biang ya kani what have you learned te kani ka benta ka ba pen kan mau ka ba pila de pule pat ka ta ka jing mentoi la ne ka jing sung thu ka ba pila yo leng ba jong ka ne ka story te sung ba pule ya ka tu tungin pule lang ya kani sim ka kot jong pi ba tungin ya pule lang ka ne ka page ar pa khat pra na ka page ar pa khat pra tungin pule lang ya kani. Our traditional arts and crafts are slowly disappearing and will eventually die out if we don't take some steps. Young people do not want to carry on their family's traditional handicrafts business because it does not help them earn much money due to slow speed of production and less demand of handcrafts. The younger artisans want to make large quantities of products for tourists because this will help them earn more money. This is possible only if the crafts are machine-made. However, machine-made products lack the uniqueness of handmade crafts. They all look the same. Older artisans are unable to convince their children that they should continue to practice their family art with commitment because it is a service to society. As family relationships became weak and as the young people leave their family handicrafts business, we all need to think about the problems of our artisans. We need to help them by formal training, buying and products, and spreading awareness of their problems. We also need to know that the value and beauty of handmade item lies in its uniqueness, and we should be willing to put a higher price for it. Okay? Se ngalada batai lut ikitu berkoi tangkan ni tang ban syupen kan mau bat ban pet ke kumno pila sung thu bat ke pila yo na kan nika story bat ke kan nika story ka kwa ban ya thu yangi te kini ki terminal question sang ni ngobha ban pet ngobha ban le bat ki answer ru kila don lupa shadin kumbang aloong sungha tho a ki copy jongpi bat nang tapat sawan ra sha school lane shondur yaki ngan pet. Mentakasngi le yakani shondur yaki ngan pet bat nang taru saundra eka kopi jongpi syaklas. Te kini kideki answer ba pin pet nda pila dep le mdai ban pet chua sale. Okay? Te mentangi la poi syak bakut jongkani ka ngilapoi sya ka bakut jongkani ka lesson ngakermen pila sungthu bat nang taru ngakermen ba pin le ya ka kam jong pin mar batang shu ngap tang shu pet ya ka ka bangi ong kasusuk ba nang la le hi ni setip te burom ya ka sap jong pi ka ba pidan penan kam ya ka tungin ya piteng banang penan kam shu shu ya ka bat kum juru Sengobha boleh kot namar kapor kayak chat-chat. Ke exam jong pi kan selong hop nai March pat April. Te shwa kata ni pendap lu dia ki assignment jong pi lada pim snap lada pim le te kan pensitom bahaya pi mdai yang kum juru kam tam ya pi nei. Itu ngin le ya kakam ko bangi dai ban le manakasngi Walada pila don napdeng yung pila du shibun ki kelas ng sa persyang man shinada ka video kumni kanang ba piru pinyok lang hakapot ba pila. Blay shibun sa pulikot pa.